Hello and welcome to yet another amazing episode. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. December is upon us and it's my favorite time of the month. I don't know if it's for you, but for me, it's an amazing, amazing month. It's really cold, but I'm loving every minute of Christmas, especially in a new country, in a new place where weather changes and all that. But anyway, let me first introduce myself in case you're watching me for the very first time. My name is Jacinta. I am a toxic relationship coach, a toxic relationship survivor. I am a mom. I am a wife. What else? I am an author. I am so many things. I am also a YouTuber and I talk about most things relationships and just snippets of here and there about my life, and just subscribe, show me some love, like this video and share it with someone who might relate with this. If you're watching this and you're thinking, a friend of mine needs to hear this. So anyway, karibu, welcome. In the previous video, and if you have not watched it, I will recommend that you go back and click on the description where, even on the comments, a pinned comment, you'll find a link to download the free relationship scorecard. And you will learn by now, if you have done this. I'm talking to somebody who has done this or is sure that they're in a toxic relationship and they're grappling or having a hard time trying to let go, because this is something that I have had so many women tell me, Jacinta, yes, I know I'm in a toxic relationship. Yes, I'm tired of the abuse. Yes, I'm tired of the cheating. What do I do? But what do I do? Because it's really hard to let go. And I know that because I walked out of a relationship and it was not easy. Believe you me, I would be lying if I said, just walk out, it's no big deal. It is a huge deal. So if you are there and you've done the scorecard and you have determined that indeed your relationship is very toxic, let me just tell you something. You might be looking at, and this is something that you have to mourn. You might mourn for it in the relationship or even when you're outside the relationship. You will have to mourn a life that you thought could happen. You will have to mourn for the dreams, the vision, the years that you've spent with this person. It doesn't matter if it's 10 years, like it was in my case, or it's 7, or it's a month or 2 months. It's still the energy that you had put in a relationship, and you need to mourn for it. And you might be thinking, I have invested so much. I have invested my time, my youth, especially if you got in this relationship when you were young. I have given birth with this person. I have invested money. I have invested so much, my emotions, physically, emotionally, in every other way. How then do I just pack my bags and leave? And the sad part is that, especially as a woman, we stand to lose more in a relationship. Yes. No matter what people say, you stand to lose more. This is why before you even get in a relationship, you really need to vet it. I always say I wish relationships were taught back in high school, like when we were 16, when we were thinking of the boyfriend, girlfriend types of relationship. We should have been told, hey, a relationship is not just about the lovey-dovey things that we feel when you're sweet 16. It goes deeper to how it evolves, to how you change as a person, to how you want to grow, to how you want a person that you can build with. Because if you get it wrong, then you stand to lose some more. Why? Let me just give an example, and I'm deviating from the whole topic. Let me just give an example of you got married like me when you were 19, or not even gotten married. You were in a relationship when you were 19, and you have walked out of that relationship maybe when you're 30. For a 30-year-old to start thinking, okay, now I'm living a relationship and I have kids with me, and especially if you're dealing with a person who is not cooperative. They're not willing to help you even raise these kids. You have 3 kids. You're no longer in your 20s. As a woman, you not be the same person that you could have been in your 20s. For a man, he's at the prime of his age. Actually, he's going to be considered high level bachelor. Yeah, to people who do not, because that is the prime of his age. He has found himself. He has started to build himself, started to build a career. He can be looked out there as somebody who has got something, but for you, you go back to square one. It doesn't matter if you're 30 or you're 40 or you're 50. Thank God if you have had an exit plan, you have had time, and this is why I say come to me before you even decide to leave that relationship, because you need to put up steps in living. If you do not, it becomes very frustrating, you become very bitter, very angry, sometimes even depressed, and you do not know where to start. So anyway, you will be mourning all these things, and you'll be looking at the loss of all these things that you thought you could have had. But I always say, there's something else that you'll be giving up apart from that life that could have been. Here's the thing. It could have been. It does not mean that that is exactly how things would have gone. It doesn't mean that maybe you would have grown old with them. It doesn't mean that maybe you would have ended up investing. Maybe along the way you would have lost the money. Maybe one person could have passed on suddenly. You never really know. So we are thinking of a future that is in our minds, is not really there. Yeah, we are thinking of how maybe along the line he could have changed, but are we really sure that he would have or even is willing to change, right? So how about we look at the reality of things, about what you'll be giving up? Yeah, you're going to be giving up the abuse. Is it physical? Are you the person who is on the receiving end of the blows? You're going to be giving up the times that you have seen your kids cry due to the sadness of the whatever the relationship is like. Remember, being in a toxic relationship is like expecting that you're in this house with fire, you're burning up, but everyone else in the house is not suffocating due to the fumes. They are. And this includes your children, it includes your neighbors even, it includes your parents, his parents, even some of your friends are tired of you. You will be losing so many things that don't really have to be the good things that you thought they were. You'll be letting go of the disrespect. You'll be letting go of the nights when you were crying yourself to sleep every single night. Do not forget that, because we forget these things so easily. You forget the days when you could not even eat, even though the fridge was full of food. You forget the days when you could not leave your bed because you were feeling so hurt. You forget the days that you had to take a leave off your work because you could not go to work because of how you are feeling. You will be giving up the days when you were calling this person non-stop and they would not pick up your phones or your calls. They would not be replying to your messages, and it was in the middle of the night. Do not forget that. You will be giving up all the other bad habits that this person had. Maybe they were disrespectful even to your parents. Maybe they made you even lose some friends who are very dear to you. Think about that. So before you think about the fantasy of a life that you could have built with this person, be realistic about the things that you'll be giving up. Yeah. On the other hand, they stand to gain a lot more. You stand to gain healthy love, like I did. You stand to gain a future that you can see is not the gloom. You know, when you're in this relationship, in this toxic relationship, when things are bad, like you can really see how the future will be. You can see all the gloom. You can see how dark it looks. But when you're with a person who is healthy and makes you happy, you see a bright future in front of you, someone who supports your dreams, someone who is there for you, who doesn't criticize you. Why wouldn't you want that for your life? Why wouldn't you want this? you stand to have a second chance. Let me tell you, not so many people are given a second chance in life. If you have let go of a relationship, it means that you have closed one chapter, a whole chapter, like push. Now you get to, and that was what used to excite me about dating. I get to go out there again. You cannot do this freely when you're in a marriage or in a relationship. Now you get to choose again, to choose better. Most of the time you get to upgrade. Who doesn't want that? You get to have a whole new makeover of yourself. Whoever you are, remember it was determined by the environment that you were in. Maybe people thought that you were very chaotic, you are this drama queen, you are this person who loved to argue. Now you get to reinvent yourself because you're now in a better space. You're calm. You have a person who doesn't gaslight you, lie to you. So now you're this other new whole person. And the most important thing is that you get to love yourself so much, because it takes a lot of self-love for you to be able to walk out of a toxic relationship. It takes you knowing yourself, loving yourself, being aware of even things that made you draw or get drawn to this sort of a person in your life. So before you think about it being really hard to leave a toxic relationship because you're focusing on what you're going to lose, please think about all the wonderful things that you stand to gain. And also think about the bad, terrible things that you stand to push aside going into 2025. Yeah. I really wish you the very best. And if you did a scorecard and you were not able to analyze it, or maybe you have questions about it, either feel free to DM me, tell me, Jacinta, I need help to analyze the scorecard. And if you have no idea what you're talking about, please go back to the previous video I talked about the scorecard and get your own free copy. Fill it and be as honest as you are, as you can be, because you're the only one who knows your relationship more than anyone else, right? And then you can DM me even on the other socials like Facebook, Instagram. Find me. And finally, I'm going to include a Calendly that is my calendar, where you can book a date and time which is convenient for you, and we can have a conversation if you feel like you want to talk to me one-on-one. Book a date with me. Let's get to talk. And if you're there in a toxic relationship and you're thinking 2025, I want change, I want better, this is the time for you. Also make that date. From the calendar, you can pick a time and a date that is most convenient for you, and we will get to discuss the way forward for you. So Merry Christmas, and I wish you a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful remaining 2024. Bye-bye.